Greetings and salutations everybody, my name is MiAh the King, and today we're doing a first impressions video on a game that came out yesterday on Steam. This is one of two videos that I'm going to be putting out today. The next one should be coming out soon, and yes, I know it's been almost a month since I last put out a video. But with the coronavirus happening, and my two little kids never going to school, and even my mother, who's working 2 jobs remotely, stuck here, it's been very difficult to find the time to do these videos, okay? Alright. Now then, this won't be very long. After all, it is just a first impressions video. I only played the game for, I don't know, a little over an hour, I think. I didn't do a deep dive, and I didn't take a long look at this game. And to be fair, I didn't really need to. Within the first half hour, I already knew what this game was, what it offers, and what it could one day become if I actually invested time into it. Now, before we go any further into the details of this game, let me humbly ask all of you wonderful viewers out there to please support this tiny YouTube channel. The big ones don't need your help. They're doing just fine. It's the small ones who really need you. So please, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and leave a comment, even if it's just a little bump. Please. And thank you. Okay, now on to the reason why you're here. Sorry about that. You want to know if this game is worth it. I mean, it is asking for over $30. It's a $40 price tag. It's just $30 as of right now. And for something like this, I mean, it better be offering a lot in return, yes? Well, technically, that's all a matter of perspective. I personally think this game is a bit too pricey. I mean, if I choose to keep this one game alone, it stops me from buying 2 games on Steam that might be more up my alley. But if certain conditions were met, I could definitely see myself keeping this game and playing it quite a lot in the future. See, the biggest thing about this game is its nostalgia feeling. It reminds you of those games you used to go to the arcade and play when you were young, or those early games on the Nintendo 64 or the original PlayStation. You know, maybe the first or second one, not the third or fourth. And I mean, it really hits home. It's got the right graphics, the right gameplay, the right feelings, and it's even multiplayer so you can play with your best friend. But, hang on, let's get into the nitty-gritty before I go into my overall feelings and opinions. I mean, for a game like this, you can't really judge it too harshly for certain specifics simply because of the type of game it's trying to be. Its graphics? I mean, clearly not the best. You know, it's pixelated, but it's meant to be pixelated. However, even pixelated, it looks pretty good. Lots of color, not too bright, not too dark, and not too crazy. It does what it sets out to do, and that's a passing grade for me. What about its sounds? Well, a lot of effort was clearly put into it, but due to the nature of the game, the sounds aren't like something to go brag home about. The music is okay, pretty standard, and the sound effects are, you know, pretty average. And there's no voice acting, so yeah, pretty much average all around for this game. How about the gameplay? Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. In a side-scroller action game like this, you need to have fast, flexible gameplay for it to be any fun or worth a damn. And this game delivers in that old-timey nostalgic way. You can't aim, you can't do a whole lot of mid-air fighting, but there is still plenty of speed, skills, actions, and techniques that you can utilize to make the most of your character. It's basic, but it's fun, and it's not too fast, but it's fast enough. It's not too hard, but it can be challenging when it needs to be. What about story? Well, it does have one, though it's pretty basic, and I didn't really get a chance to get further into it. Basically, there are 2 forces, Celestials and Dragonbloods, who hate each other. One day, the Celestials killed all the Dragonbloods, and now rule with an iron fist over this kingdom or something. You are a lone survivor of the Dragonbloods, and serving your dragon god thing, you are sent out filled with fire and vengeance to destroy the Celestials. I mean, that's the gist of what I got from it. It's pretty much a basic vengeance plot where you avenge your slain people, blah blah blah. But that's okay. This type of game doesn't really need much of a deep, diverse story. It just needs a plot to keep the game moving, so you can enjoy, you know, its gameplay and other features with your buddies, or even by yourself if you ain't got no buddies like me. Like, for instance, it's online multiplayer. I don't know how many people can play with you at a time, but if this old-timey game is going with old-timey rules, I'd say between 2 and 4 people can play together. And that's where this game has its fun. Now, I have no one to play with. I spend most of my days with just my family, and since my kids are under the age of 6, they can't really join me here. My wife works and goes to school, so she's never here either. And my only 2 friends in the world kind of abandoned me for their other friends. Apparently, I'm not much fun. Who knew? But I am very cynical. And that is perfect for this particular career path I've chosen. Another fun feature this game offers is different characters you can play as, and each one gains levels and has their own story. Don't feel bad for me, people. Don't let the sad music make you feel bad for me. I mean, It's all pretty much the same story, but with a different main character. But each player you pick has its own unique set of skills and abilities and play styles. So if you have like 3 friends and you all want to play, then you can each choose a style that suits you best and have a unique, diverse group to tackle these dungeons. Not only that, but there are side quests and even a hub where you can just kind of chill and do some shopping, talking, and quest gathering. Each quest takes you to its separate level where there's something that you need to do. So, you and your friends set out through the dungeon and, well, I'm sure you're getting the gist of this game now, am I right? But, now I gotta get into some of the hiccups, the things that annoy me or really irritated me. First up is the price. That is way too pricey. I mean, $40? $30 even, and that's just for what it's selling for right now. I mean, like I said earlier, the actual price of the game is $40, but right now it's $30, and I'm sorry, but fuck no. You want $40 for this? Even Ori and the Will of the Wisps, or whatever the fuck that game was called, was only $30, and that game did everything, at least I think it was either $30 or $20, I don't remember. Anyway, that game did everything this game did, but way better. Better production, smoother gameplay, better sounds, better graphics, better story, more mystery, better everything, and charged less. Maybe they charging extra because it's multiplayer, or because it's longer, I honestly don't know, but this game should be 20 bucks tops. You know why? Because if you have 3 friends, 2 friends, or just 1 friend to play this with, and you each buy it for $40, then you just spent at most $160 for you and your 3 friends to play this together. But $80 would be more agreeable, am I right? Not only that, but more people would be willing to buy it so that they could play it with their friends. I mean, for instance, I am in a position where I could buy a copy for $40 if I really wanted to. If a reviewer I watched recommended it to me, or if I saw that it was getting a bunch of great reviews on Steam or something, you know, I'd be willing to pick it up and take a look at it. My brother and my best friend, I mean, they're both my best friends. Okay, that might have been confusing. My brother, who is my best friend, and then another person who's not my brother, who's also my best friend. 2 best friends. Okay, these are my only 2 friends. Neither of them are in a position to spend $40 on a casual, low-production game like this. But they both might be willing to swing $20 for a game like this. Just from that alone, I have to get a refund. This game was clearly meant to be played with friends, and if my friends were talking with me, and if this game was only $20, I'd keep it, and hell, even if they couldn't afford it, I might be able to swing another $40 to buy it for the 2 of them so we could all play together. But unfortunately, I can't spare that. I can't spare $120 for 3 copies of this game. My friends can barely spare $40 on a pointless video game when they could spend it on food, gas, or bill. And by the way, that's not my opinion. I don't think that video games are pointless, but in their eyes, when they've got bills to pay, those are more, you know, those are worth it more than a video game is. The next thing that bugs me is its stability. While the game ran mostly fine, I did run into a few hiccups early on that pretty much ruined my, first few moments of the game. It locked up on me and then crashed the first time I opened it. The second time I opened it, it just froze and I had to do a hard restart. Then, when I restarted it a third time, it opened up fully functioning in windowed mode. Now, it did window mode each time, but this time it was actually working. But trying to figure out the buttons was also annoying. Trying to get the window mode to go away was annoying. Don't even bother trying to play this without a controller, by the way. Without a controller, you won't even be able to adjust the controls for this game. And this is just a personal, freaking pet peeve of mine. If you've been watching my channel, then you know that this is something that really irritates me. Don't fucking make a game on the computer and force it to only use controller support. There are people out there who can't afford a fucking Xbox or PlayStation and don't have a fucking controller. All they have is a PC. By doing this, you're ruining your chances of having other people buy and play your game. So having to navigate between controller and PC controls in the beginning to figure out what the fuck is going on and how to make it work was incredibly annoying, and eventually I just gave up and just tried to make the controller work, which it finally did. And something about alt-tabbing the game, each time I did that to check times or check my recording or whatever, the game just seemed to freeze and freak out on me. It made me very nervous each time, but it didn't crash again after that first time, so maybe it was just a random occurrence, but it didn't make me feel good. It even screwed up one of my recordings, so I had to redo it all over again, as that was annoying. And finally, the last thing isn't something that I myself experienced, but something that I've seen from others online, and that's the fact that no one really seems to be able to find anyone to play with in this game. So, that multiplayer is most likely meant for you and your friends and not just to play with random strangers online. Maybe. So, be aware of that if you choose to play, this hoping that you're going to be able to play online with other people just because your friends are tightwads. It doesn't look like there's a lot of people playing it online, so, keep that in mind. But, I want to say, before you guys start jumping down my throat, and start, hitting me with all the mean comments. Even with all those negatives, I can't hate this game. It reminds me of my childhood. it's fun, and it sets out what it wants to do. The only problem really is that damn price tag. If it was cheaper, I could buy a copy from my broke-ass friends so we could all enjoy a game similar to what we played when we were younger. So you see, if that price doesn't bother you, and if playing alone doesn't bother you, then awesome, great, perfect, you'll love this game and have a lot of fun sinking hours into it. But if you're thinking that price is a bit much and is it worth it? Well, only if you like playing action side-scrolling adventure games alone and ones that aren't of the next-gen quality. And if you're looking at it and going, I don't have any friends to play with, so is there any point? And, well, I mean, unless you're a huge fan of this genre, not really. Sorry, but this game is clearly meant to be enjoyed with friends. Now, I'm not saying you can't find any fun here alone, but I'd strongly recommend this game to people with disposable income and a friend or two to play with. But otherwise, I'd pass on this one, guys, or at least wait for a 50% discount or something and buy it for that $20. I mean, come on, guys. We can do better than this. This game had a lot of potential, but that price tag is asking too much. And for a game like this, I don't trust it. I don't trust it, and with my experience, look, you guys don't have to trust me, alright? I have been wrong in the past, but it's always been wrong based on personal preferences, and a lot of people trust my personal preferences because I make a lot of freaking sense. And I'm telling you, as someone who's been playing games for 20 years, something here doesn't feel right. So I would strongly recommend you guys wait for a discount or for the price to be dropped, alright? Or if you've got, like I said, if you've got a lot of money to spend and you've got a friend who's willing to play it with you, you know, and you guys are like 30, 40 years old and you remember playing these games when you were younger, then fine. You know, everyone has their own different circumstances, but I don't know, just for me in my situation, it's not going to work. It's too much. So, if you have any questions about the game, feel free to ask me in the comments, and I will respond. I try to respond to every comment anyway, but sometimes I don't get all the information in the video, and people need to ask me, and that's okay too. Feel free to do so. I'm always polite, I'm always nice, and I always try to do 110% when it comes to keeping you guys updated and in the know. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching my video. Please do me a solid and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, and I can't wait to see you all on my next adventure. So until then, I bid you farewell.